My name's Garth Tarr. I'm a lecturer in statistics and data science at the University of Sydney. My research interests are in robust statistics, model selection, and data visualization. Robust statistics is important for modeling the core of the data, particularly when you have outliers or contamination in your data, which could distort your model estimates. So we try to come up with ways of either identifying unusual observations or develop methods that ignore in some way those unusual observations, so you're modeling the core of the data. With model selection, we're looking to identify which variables are important in predicting a particular outcome. There might be thousands of variables to choose from in your data set, and you want to identify what are the key ones that really drive change or help you predict a particular outcome. So my research is all about data. So there's nothing that I do that it doesn't have data involved in it in some way. So we're always looking to develop new methods to better analyze or more efficiently make use of data in a variety of contexts. One of the data sets that I'm using in my research at the moment is related to the eating quality of red meat. So I do quite a bit of work with Meat and Livestock Australia, who is an industry body that looks after the producers and manufacturers of red meat around the country. And they're ultimately interested in predicting the eating quality of beef. So they'd like to be able to come up with a predictive model, and we have a predictive model that can tell you at the abattoir whether a particular piece of meat is going to be a good everyday quality, a better than everyday quality, or a really premium product. And of course, this is of interest for two reasons. One is to have consumers have a consistent eating experience, and if they have a consistent eating experience, then they're more likely to go back and repeat purchase. And producers, well, they can differentiate their product and charge more for the premium stuff versus the everyday quality stuff. So one of the things that we're looking at is the effect of packaging on, and the type of packaging on eating quality. And so we were investigating three different packaging types: modified atmosphere packaging, versus vacuum sealed packaging, and just a regular overwrap. And we found some really interesting results in that your modified atmosphere packaging had a really big detrimental effect on eating quality. And so we're seeing supermarkets around Australia now move away from that towards other forms of packaging. Data visualizations are really dependent on who you're trying to communicate to. So the best data visualization for one group of people might not necessarily be the best for another group of people. I try to communicate many of my results with non-statisticians, non-data scientists, and in that context, I find a box plot or side-by-side box plots is often one of the nicest visualizations that you can present. It's easy for people to interpret. It simplifies the distribution to just a couple of key statistics, and you can often see the patterns in your data that you're trying to find just by a simple overview of the side-by-side box plots. The most important aspect of data that I see these days is the integrity of the data. We see huge amounts of data being collected in various areas at the moment, but often that data is not clean, and there's often a lot of contamination, or you might have biased samples. For example, you've sampled from one population that's not reflective of another population that you might be trying to model for. So even though there exists a lot of data, it might not be the data that you're actually after, or it might not be reflective of the population that you're trying to predict for. So having a good understanding of the limitations of your data is increasingly important these days. Whether it's there's contamination in your data, or you're modeling one subgroup, but you've got data from another subgroup, you need to have a good understanding of what your data can do and what your data can't do. So I did my PhD and my undergraduate in statistics, and over time I've moved more and more towards the statistician data scientist blend. And I think that's really important for statisticians these days, to be working more closely with people who actually have data. So traditionally, statisticians have been really interested in their models and less interested perhaps in applications on real data set. And we're seeing a lot more collaboration these days between statistician data scientists and researchers, and that's just going to continue in the future. The advice that I'd give a new data science student is to get involved in the community. And there's lots of ways you can do that. There are meetup groups in many cities. There's the Our Ladies group, but the easiest way is through Twitter. So if you get yourself a Twitter account, you follow a couple of key people in the data science community, it's amazing to see all the new packages that are coming along these days, the new analyses, look at where things are progressing in our field. It's a fantastic way to keep up to date with what's going on.